monster in your ears, boy.
It's way too hard at the ice out the neck. It's way too hard at the ice out the neck. When I'm in my zone, bitch, I get my respect. Call me Bobby Johnson.
Hello, Everett. Whoa. What is happening? Hello? Oh, haha. Whoopsies. I had it playing in the background on accident. That tripped me out. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Texas Sports World. I'm your host, Ethan, and we have a lot to get into today. A lot of stuff happened last night. Oh, making sure everything's good. All right. A lot of stuff happened last night. A lot of cards fell. So we'll see. We'll get into what I think could happen there. Let's see. First things first, we got to get into it. Yeah. So obviously Dallas somehow went, and there's at this point, there's some stuff I'm going to show you during this, and I feel like this is evidence enough to and you could, and if you saw the thumbnail that I had, I feel like you could tell where this is going because I don't understand it. I don't understand how we could get here. It's not a coincidence no more. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. Okay. So let me, I can't log into my Twitter because I don't know the password. So how am I going to show it? One second. Okay. Well, no, I need to figure it out. I need to show y'all. Okay. 1 second. I'm going to switch cameras. This looks worse, and now you can see the clothes again, but hold on. I just need to take a picture real quick, a screenshot. Okay. Boom. Got that. Oh, not yet. Got that one. This one. Hold up. This one. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is super unprofessional and annoying, and I'm sorry, but here we go. Now I got it set up. I was trying to put my notes together for some other stuff earlier. Okay, done. Okay, now we're gonna go back to this. Boom. Much better. Now I'm gonna go to this image. This one right here is kind of hilarious. So look at this. You can't see it, but so here's one of the things that I saw on Twitter today. Let me take off my overlay real quick so you can see everything. Okay, so in 2011, Chris Paul traded to LA. Boom, New Orleans gets AD in the number 1 pick. 2019, Anthony Davis traded to LA. Boom, New Orleans gets the number 1 pick. Come on, man. Oh, wait, there's more. Okay, now let's do it is 2025. Luka Doncic traded to LA. Boom, Dallas gets the number 1 overall pick. That's not even, but wait, there's more. I have more evidence. Look at this. So the odds of a top 3 in the NBA draft being Dallas, San Antonio, and Philadelphia in that order is 0.0114%. Don't take my word for it. I wouldn't even say take this person's word for it. That might even be hyperbole, but I feel like the point still stands considering that there was a 1.8% chance that Dallas would get the number 1 overall pick and like a 6% chance that San Antonio would get that high. So I feel like at this point it's getting a little tad bit ridiculous. Okay. But wait, there's more. Oh, wait, I added the wrong one. Remove. Okay. Wait. So here we go. Here's another one. The Cavs win the lottery immediately after LeBron leaves. The Pelicans win the lottery immediately after CP3 leaves. The Pelicans win the lottery again immediately after the AD trade. The Mavs win it. So it's just another one showing what I showed you earlier, but written. But I'm just saying, guys, this can't be over and over again. I can't, this is crazy. So I feel like, and it also throws a wrench in a lot of things because Dallas is not a good spot for a number 1 overall pick. Okay, let's just be honest. You got Anthony Day-to-Day Davis, okay, and then you got Kyrie's not going to play next year, so you don't have a guard on the roster that could really. And Derek, you got Derek Lively, a young guy that shows a little bit of promise, but I mean, outside of that, I mean, there's not a whole lot going on in Dallas for a number 1 overall pick of this caliber. And then to top it all off, for another horrible day in Rockets. This is just like this happens so much. Like this has happened to us. This has happened to us multiple times where we like the Paolo Banchero. We were a ball drop away from getting Paolo Banchero. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Jabari. Jabari's cool. I think he's a part of our future. No doubt about that. But imagine just imagine if the ball bounces differently, and maybe other things happen and we don't have the players we have now. And sure, if you could say we could play the what if game all day, but I'm just saying, and it's frustrating that, it doesn't, like, the crazy stuff doesn't ever happen for us in this. Like, it always happens negative. Like, if there was a year where we could get some karma back on our side, it'd be this year, where like we're finally number 2 seed. We finally worked, and it'd be like it would be if Houston was in the other team's positions and they were in ours, they would have got the first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like if there was a number 9 team and we were about to get the 1 seed, they would have jumped up and got the 1 pick somehow. That just feels like our karma. I don't understand it. It's a little frustrating, and I hate it. So, yeah. Got that all my chest. I feel a little bit better now. Because it's over with. Now we can talk about, okay, so now we can move past it. It is what it is. You can't change it, right? So now what does San Antonio do at 2? What does Dallas? I mean, I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion what Dallas does at 1. They're going to take Cooper Flag, but obviously this is one of those situations where they're going to take him. It doesn't really matter if they need him or if he'd fit. Like, you take a generational talent like that, regardless of where you and if you don't, like, if like, hear me out. If Nico in the same calendar year trades Luka and passes on Cooper Flag, that's like, those got to be fine, regardless of who's on board in the organization, regardless if the owner told you, I don't give a hoot, I don't give a hit. Okay, those are fireable offenses. You could lose your job for that. All right, like, let's just, you can't do that. So obviously Dallas is going to take Cooper Flag 1, right? Okay. So but what I was trying to get into was that Dallas needs a point guard. Kyrie's not going to play all the next year, most likely. That's kind of already known to be true. So at this point, I mean, is obviously, like, they're going to go, but could that be more of a negative Could that be a like that would I kind of feel bad for Cooper Flag at that point. I mean, that's kind of a kind of a weird situation to be in because yes, ultimately you do have AD and he is still AD, right? But like I said, he is gonna get hurt. It's gonna happen, or he's gonna have his like toenail pulled during a petty or something. I don't know. So I wouldn't count on that. I wouldn't count on Anthony Davis to be, a 27, 26 and that kind of guy. I just 17 and 10 and 17, 10 and 5. I don't know. But something along those lines is kind of where I think, where he would most likely be. So because of that, and then you have San Antonio at 2. Okay, so San Antonio gets the 2 pick. Okay, so does San Antonio pick? Because there's been a little bit of discussion, a little bit of muddle about Anthony Davis. I mean about Giannis and a San Antonio. Now, obviously, the money situation there would be a little bit tight because you're going to have to pay Giannis. He's going to get a max. De'Aaron's going to want a max. Wemby's going to want a max. That's probably like 90 to 100 million a year of your cap space like that. And that's just, I don't know. So basically that gives them a much like the Rockets, Now, ultimately, I think the Rockets are a little bit in a better position because we don't have to pay as many players as soon. But you do have to hope that trading for Giannis doesn't take so much of your young capital that it ultimately shortens your window even more. Because let's say you don't win a championship in those 3 to 4 years. Let's say Giannis just ages out or he kind of just plateaus, right? You're going to want to hope that your young guys that were sitting on the bench or that were playing with him and that were, getting some significant minutes a little bit, that they were also getting better, right? That's what you're hoping. But if they're not, if you don't have nobody there to get better, then once he leaves, you're screwed. You've tied your whole entire franchise to him, and now he just plateaus, and now you're back to, 42 and 41 or whatever it is, 41 and 41. You're back to a mid-level team because you shipped away all your assets. So the goal should be, if I'm the Bucks, do I even pick? Because what sucks is that the Rockets fell back even more. So like a top 10 pick at 10, I mean, yes, there is value there, but I don't think there's immediate contributor there. Maybe there is. Maybe you get like if there's a specialist in terms, like if there's a shooter there. I haven't really seen any, elite shooters so far. I've done a little bit of looking around at the NBA draft. I haven't seen a whole lot, and admittedly, I need to do a little bit more research. So, all right. So not really breaking news, but this kind of just goes into what I was just talking about. So I just got an update that ESPN saying, let me go to maybe I won't show it, but I just got an update from ESPN saying that the Mavs plan on taking Cooper Flag number 1, and they're not even entertaining a pick for a trade for that pick. So that locks that down. That's done and over with. So now you really have to focus on the whole Giannis situation and San Antonio at 2, because like I was saying, if the Rockets want to do it, there's going to need to be a balance between keeping their young guys, because like I said, you don't want to shorten the window so much that and go too hard right now, because you ultimately do have some young guys that could be very good. Jabari could be a very, even if Jabari goes even at his peak, he goes and averages 17 and 9 and 4. Okay. Maybe that's not necessarily living up to his draft pick or whatnot, but that's a serviceable and he's a good defender, a rebounder. He can do a lot of things. So, maybe he could if he sticks around for a little bit, maybe that's one of those guys where it'd be nice to pair him with a superstar, because you don't need to hit for him to take so much of the load. Now I think that's kind of all, because I got into a lot of the NBA draft and stuff yesterday. I think I just kind of went into what I'm thinking about the top 2 picks and what the what the Rockets could do. What the Mavs are going to do. They just announced, or I don't know if they announced, but ESPN just basically said that that's what's going to happen. So I would assume that there's going to be some movement around the number 2 pick for sure. Because like I said, either they could, because San Antonio is kind of in a good spot with Wemby and De'Aaron. So, I mean, I could see them moving to a different moving in the draft. I could see them. I just don't know if adding Giannis is right. I don't know if that Giannis is going to be a lot for any team. There's negatives to it. You could go win it all. And there's also, I don't know. There's a lot going into it because the Rockets, they'd already had trouble with spacing, and I don't know if adding that kind of guy. Now, maybe adding that kind of guy would allow teams to not be able to trap Jalen, and maybe we see a Jalen unlocked with Giannis, maybe. That's something I'd be interested in. And if that's the case, then maybe, because Jalen's been paid, Alfie's been paid. They've all been, most of our rosters have been paid except for Fred. I think Fred's going to get a restructure like I spoke about yesterday. So I think that's kind of all I wanted to get into on the, I know I had that picture because I was feeling very upset and I wanted to get that out at the beginning because I didn't want to, bury the lead, but that's what that's about. And then I'm also going to get into, my phone. Hold up, wait a minute, put a little love in it. All right, there we go. We're charging. Please don't fall. Ooh. I don't trust this mother. Okay. So yesterday, my co-host / co-operator of this channel, Isaac, did his SEC power rankings. Now, personally, I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was pretty freaking funny. I thought that he listen. Let me tell you something about Isaac, okay? And I hope he's watching this. So I'm surprised he hasn't commented nothing yet, but I hope he's watching this. Now, I'm gonna put his power rankings on the ticker on the bottom, and I'm just gonna talk about why I think it's a little bit insane. And my phone's about to fall again. You know what? We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this really fast. We're gonna fix this really fast. Oh, nice. Ow. Whoopsies. Let me close the door. There we go. Oh, JK. Now you have. Don't do me like this. Don't do me like that, daddy. Okay, so here he is. He says, that's crazy. I already said I messed him up. Don't do me like this. Listen, man. I'm going to do you like that, daddy. I'm going to do you like that. Okay, so we're going to start at 16 here. So at 16, he's got Mississippi State. Good start. Good answer. We're going to treat this like what is that? Family Feud. Good answer. And then you got, I'm going to let it go. Let it scroll. Let it go. I can just see it. There we go. Then we've got Kentucky. Not mad at it. I can get down with that. Okay. So you got Mississippi State, Kentucky. Mississippi State still figuring themselves out. Not a great football team. I think they got a little bit better over the offseason, but I think so did the top half of the SEC. And ultimately, I think the middle did a little bit too. I think the middle of the SEC is going to be a much tougher place to play. I think, Auburn, Oklahoma. Listen, I'm not gonna give no props on this channel to Oklahoma. Okay, fight me. So that, because the only thing about the only reason that Texas hasn't fallen into the ocean is because OU sucks. I'm just saying, and it is also 225, and OU still sucks. Anyways, so you got Mississippi State, Kentucky. Now, hold on. Listen, I understand the hesitation at 14 with Ole Miss, but here's the thing. Bud. I personally think that Austin Simmons is going to be very good in that Ole Miss offense. I think that not secretly, but for instance, in this last draft, Jackson Dart was my personal favorite. I thought that, and I think him being on the Giants. Now, that might not be the best squad for him to be a part of, but ultimately, I think Austin Simmons is going to be solid at Ole Miss. Vandy, yeah, man. I know what I forgot. I also got to do the. Let me put that in my brain. So Vandy, okay, all right. I guess at 13, I don't think they're going to be that good either. I personally would probably swap Vandy and Ole Miss. I think I'm going to eventually do my own one of these, but I'm going to do it probably later at a later date. I'm going to put some thought into mine. I think this was Isaac's kind of just thrown together one. We were talking about it the other day or yesterday, and I think we're going to eventually do another one full go. He might even do his tonight whenever he hops on, because I think he's going to also do his show or his version of this tonight as well. So be sure to check that out. Also, if I haven't mentioned already, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this thing popping. We don't know what we're talking about like ever, but like sometimes we're cool. And if you want to hang out with us, that'd be cool. So you can hang out, we could talk, you could chat, I'll chat, super chat. We'll have a fun time. Anyways, where am I even at? I'm confused. Yes, Arkansas. Got it. Arkansas. Now, listen. Taylor Green looks like Bambi. Okay, he's just kind of like, he doesn't super long motion. Now, granted, he did a lot better this year with his motion. They cleaned it up a lot, but I'm not sure. He kind of gives me, like, for Texas fans out there. Now I'm going to say something. Don't call me. I'm not saying body type. I'm saying throw ability. Tyrone Swoops. He's kind of like Tyrone Swoops throw ability, but way more jiggy with it. So, and then you got Mizzou. Mizzou loses a lot. Mizzou might struggle this year. I'm not going to lie. I would probably switch Mizzou with Ole Miss, and then probably Mizzou with Ole Miss, and then Vandy with Mizzou. So Vandy would be at 14, Ole Miss at 11, and then Vandy at 14. Yeah. Auburn adds a quarterback. They have a really good receiver. They also have Deuce Knight, so they really have two not really good. Jackson Dart, I think he was set up to fail at Oklahoma. I'd be interested to see what he does at a school like Auburn, where they kind of might fit his skill set a little bit more with that Hugh Freeze offense. And then, they also have Deuce Knight. Obviously, he didn't come to sit the bench, so we'll see kind of how that works itself throughout the season. I think they'll probably end up splitting time at some point. It kind of sucks for Jackson. I don't understand why these kids sometimes they make really dumb decisions in the fact that they transfer when they don't need to, and then they transfer to, and they make dumb decisions in the sense that they transfer to schools they don't need to be at. And it's like, you could, especially when you see them getting offers, it's like you could have went there and like, is it really the money? Like, and why is that school paying you so much money to sit the bench? That's bad roster management on I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me why these schools are taking some of these players, and why these players are even going to some of these schools. Jackson Arnold's a perfect example of that. Doesn't make any sense. And Texas took a quarterback now. It's good for Texas. I understand Texas wants to add some competition to that room. Maybe it's because you don't want to force KJ Lacey to play too early, and so you add another quarterback just to senior quarterback that's been in some fire, can kind of maybe maybe even offer Arch some knowledge. Who knows? You know, I understand from Texas's perspective, but from the player perspective, like I wouldn't. It's my last year playing, and I'm not even gonna play. So like my last snap that I played was my last snap, and I didn't even know it. You know, like that just kind of I wouldn't do that as a player, but that's just my personal opinion. Tennessee at 8. Tennessee's gonna struggle, man. They don't have a. I feel like now Nico was mid. I don't understand that whole thing was crazy. Nico didn't. I felt like that was clearly not him. But then also he goes to UCLA, and then his brother also goes to UCLA, who transferred from UCLA. Now it's back at UCLA, who's at Arkansas. Like it's just a weird situation going on. I don't understand that. So they lost a lot also in the draft. Dylan Sampson. They now are they going to be able to withstand in the SEC with maybe a mid-tier quarterback again, and really no answer at running back yet that I've read about. So I'm not a Tennessee fan, so I don't really know a whole lot, but that's just how I read the situation. And then at 7 you got A&M. I can get down with that. I think that's a good spot for A&M to be 7 or 6 or 7 range. I think they're going to get a lot better in year 2 under Elko. I think Marcel Reed is going to get a lot better. I think his running ability is very needs to be talked about more. I think he's going to need probably get a little bit better throwing the ball, but I think ultimately if they can stick to his strengths. I know they brought in a quarterback from UAB, I believe, Zeno or is his last name. It was a senior. That's another one of those things. It's like, and then Marcel, I thought, well, Marcel's got to go, right? I mean, that in the age of the transfer portal, that's what that's what you should use it for, but that's what you would think these kids would be using it for. So when they use it for reasons not like that, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Then you got LSU. Garrett Nussmeier is going to get a lot of hype here in the next couple of months, and a lot of it is maybe a little ill-deserved, maybe. Now he did play rather well last year. I think LSU is gonna. This seems like a good number for LSU too, because I would maybe flip them with Georgia because I don't know how I feel about Georgia this year with Gunnar Stockton. I think they're gonna. Obviously they're gonna have a team. Like Georgia's still Georgia. They still recruit. They're still Georgia, right? I'm not saying, but I don't know if they're going to be the Georgia, like Isaac said yesterday, that won back-to-back natties. I just don't see that. I don't think they're going to be the Georgia that's going to just walk into teams and walk out not even breaking a sweat. I don't think that's them. Florida. Now, I understand the hype around Florida this offseason at 4. Florida's at 4. This is not mine. I would make some changes here, but this is Isaac's. And I think he's going to redo it later. So be sure to tune in and check that out too. Florida at 4. I think that's a pretty good number for him. DJ Lagway. I think he's coming off an injury. We'll see how he feels. All reporting seems to be that he's doing pretty solid health wise. So that's good to know. And then you've also got South Carolina at 3. This is a good one. I think that this is a solid place for South Carolina. Lenora Sellers is really good. Nick Harbor, those guys. That's gonna be a good squad. And they turned it on at the end of the year. They showed y'all that they really could have been, 1 or 2 penalty calls going a different way away for being in a college football playoff. Really, they were really close. That kind of same spot with Ole Miss, but Ole Miss, shit the bed against Kentucky, and that's kind of what knocked them out. And then you got Texas at 2, and obviously, I think Texas should probably be at 1, but me and Isaac go head to head on that. And I'm sure, we're probably going to get into it on this show eventually because it gets pretty heated. Because he think, we're not even going to go there. We're not even going to go there. It's fine. He's a liar and he's wrong. And I will stand on it. I hope he's watching it too. Come on the show. Say it with your chest. Say it for the internet. They're going to hear how crazy you are. Ooh, yeah, I like how this is kind of becoming like I'm talking behind his back, but I hope he's listening, but he can't say nothing back, so he can't cut me off and be mad at me. So it's kind of funny. So I think I'm going to maybe run through. Should I or should I not? All right. Let's do it. Top SEC quarterbacks in 2025. This is going to be my power rankings. Now, I'm not going to have a ticker on here, but I could. All right, yeah, that would take too long. That's fine. I'll do it like this. Okay, so let's do it then. We could talk, we could speak about it. Bring it to the internet so everybody can hear. Bring it to the internet because you're crazy and nobody thinks that Alabama. No, Ty Simpson is not going to take you nowhere, son. He's not going to take you nowhere but to Cabo because you're going to be on vacation while everybody else is out there playing in a playoff. I'm just telling you. And also, Ryan Williams can only do so much. Is he going to be able to do what he did again? We're going to find out. We're going to find now. I get it. He's only 17. Oh my God. Get out of here with that. I love honestly pissing him off. It's kind of one of the greatest things you could do in life. I'm just trying to tell everybody. Okay. Sorry guys, I was trying to be more prepared before I started and then I kind of messed it up. Screw it. Nope, I can't do that. It's still gonna take too long. Okay. Sorry, I am currently adding my list to the banners so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. And I can also remember where I'm at in my list. Yeah, come on. I wish this would be faster, but it's not faster. So just hang with me, man. Just hang out. Just hang out. So, how are y'all feeling today? Y'all having a good day, man? I'm having, it's my last day off from my day job. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get this pod up off the ground. See, I hope y'all are enjoying it so far. Like I said, I know we kind of sound like idiots a little bit sometimes, but sometimes there's nuggets in there that sound kind of good. And over time, I think y'all could hear it. And I think y'all could understand that we may be dumb a lot of the time, but some of the time we know what we're talking about. So what did I just I messed this all up. You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to put the names up, so y'all are just going to have to think about it. So here's where I'm at currently in the SEC. So there's a lot of youth in the SEC this year. There's not a lot of elder statesmen, if you will. John Mateer transfers in. I don't really. That didn't really move me. I mean, he didn't play very. I mean, he played pretty good. At Washington State, but it wasn't. He didn't like. It wasn't Cam Ward. Good. Like I don't think he was on Cam Ward's level when he was at Washington State. And going to OU and being touted as the best quarterback. I just don't best quarterback in the portal outside of, Carson Beck, which I called on this channel. Me and Isaac called on the channel that he would suck before the season even started. And people were in our mentions calling us crazy. But now where is he? Miami, brokenhearted, no girlfriend. And he went there and now he's still going to suck. So, we were right. Anyways, John Mateer transfers in. Doesn't really do much for me. Marcel Reed, first year really starting. Diego Pavia, finally going to get his shot. This isn't my order, but I'm just kind of running through the names as I see him real quick. Gunnar Stockton, I don't know, man. We'll see if he's even the guy there. I'm not sure he's going to be the starter at Georgia, in Athens. I'm not sure that's going to be the guy there. It could very well be, but I don't know. Austin Simmons, like I said, I'm a little bit higher on Austin Simmons. I think Austin Simmons is going to be really solid. I think he's young, but I think he plays baseball too. So I think he's got a lot of different arm angles. I think he's an athlete. He can move around. I think that's really good too. All right, so I guess I'll just start with my list now. So I think my number one is probably gonna surprise a couple people, and is probably gonna sound a little bit crazy considering who my team is. But I'm gonna go with South Carolina's LaNorris Sellers. Now, hear me out. I think he's a part of a really good team. I think that he is a tremendous athlete. I think he really turned it on last year. I think there was a point where if you look at it statistically, I think he could have really started. If he could have just started his on fireness a little earlier in the season, they're a playoff team for sure. I think he kind of found his footing there at South Carolina, and I think he's going to be very, 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 very good. Like I said, he's got all the pieces around him. He's got all the pieces in himself as well. So I think he's going to be very good. That's kind of my biggest. That was when I was thinking about it. I was like, I could see that happening. I could see that happening. So LaNorris Sellers is my number one. Now, my number two is probably gonna be my gut wants to my gut and my heart are telling me two different things. My number two is probably going to be Garrett Nussmeier. Now, I know that's crazy. I know that might be a little insane, but hear me out. Again, veteran at this point. He played well last year. He's coming into another year in the same system. He's going to do. I feel like that this is just the next step for him. If he played at that level last year, the next step for him could only be so much better. Right now, that's my number two. My number three is going to be Arch Manning. I think that he showed a lot of promise. The only reason I didn't have him a lot higher up in these rankings is because he's still young. Now it's his third year in the system. I understand that. He did play in some games. I think he showed a lot of promise. I think he's got a lot of athleticism. I think he's going to be able to throw the deep ball a lot better than Quinn did. I think he's going to take a lot more chances. I think he's going to have that gunslinger mentality that really is going to make this Sark offense kind of hit the next level. But in terms of where I think he's at right now, maybe by the end of the year, this list looks a little bit different, but right now going into the year, I have him third just because of kind of where he's at in his career in terms of, time played. Now, after that, I'm gonna have DJ Lagway. I think DJ Lagway is gonna be a superstar. I think he's got all the tools in the world. I think he's powerful. He's big. He can throw it. He can stand tall. He can run around a little bit. I think he's gonna be a really solid quarterback. Now the question remains: is he gonna be able to stay healthy? Is he gonna be able to stay on the field? He gets hurt last year. Things fall off the rails for Florida, and ultimately what happened. So with him coming back, I think Florida on both sides of the ball is a lot better this year than they were last year. And I think, if he can be healthy, they could really take the next step as a team. Maybe get to, get to 12 at least, be a playoff team. I don't see them winning the SEC. Now, maybe if they're 3 or 4 in the SEC, maybe that makes them 8 or 9 in the country. That'd be a little higher than I would think. Maybe 11 or 12, but I think they could still be a very good. I don't see them getting in the top, 7 really. That may I don't know. After that, now this is kind of where you get a lot of the same tier mid-level quarterbacks, and this isn't my order, but just a list of names that are still out there. Pavia, Mateer. So yeah, Diego Pavia, John Mateer, Marcel Reed, Taylon Green, Ty Simpson, Gunnar Stockton, Austin Simmons, Bo Pribula, Joey Aguilar, Jackson Arnold, Blake Shapen, and Zach Calzada. So those are kind of the names still out there. Personally, I'm probably gonna let's see. I'm probably gonna go Austin Simmons. Now, that's more kind of like the same Arch Manning thing for me, where that's more, I see the projection, I see the vision of where they want him to be and where he could be as a quarterback. And I think that if he could, just take control of that offense, I think, and that offense is meant to put up numbers. It just is. So if he can just run the offense the way it's meant to be, he's going to put up numbers. And he's an athlete. He is a good athlete. He's a good quarterback as well. So those things put together, I think he could have a very, very good year. Next is probably going to be Pavia. I think he's a hard-nosed quarterback. He's a grinder. He's gritty. He doesn't always do the best thing, but he does the creative thing. And I think that's going to get them in a lot of games, and it's going to take them out of a lot of games, so, but I think him being the quarterback will always give them a chance. And I think that in and of itself kind of puts him at this position in my list. Let's see. And then I'm going to go with probably John Mateer. Now this is probably where he sits mid-level, mid, top. What am I at? 8 or 9 in the SEC. I think, he like I said, he played pretty well at Washington State, but I don't think he played at such a level that he's a Heisman candidate. I don't think he played at such a level where he's going to be, throwing for 4,500 or, being better than Arch or any of that. I think this is his perfect spot. Maybe you could argue, Austin Simmons maybe is my personal favorite, but you could argue Austin Simmons versus any of the next guys I say, but still, ultimately, I think that he could take it. Listen, this is how you feel. How you felt about your rankings is how I felt about your rankings. Is how you feel about my rankings right now, because I don't think I've said anything crazy. Y'all can comment down below if you want to, but I don't think I said nothing crazy. All right. And then, all right. So he kind of threw me off. So I got Mateer. I think I'm probably going to go Marcel Reed. I think Marcel Reed, then Taylon Green. I think those two are kind of similar styles of quarterback. I think they're both going to be, they're both jitterbugs. They both need to work on their throwing motion a little bit, but ultimately, I think those are types of guys that you can win or lose you games, but they always give you a chance, much like Pavia. And then I'm going to go with probably Ty Simpson and Gunnar Stockton, because those two also are kind of similar to me player-wise. They, Ty Simpson comes in, highly ranked quarterback at a time. Gunnar Stockton, highly ranked at the time, never really got a chance. Was always, played over, and now they get their shot. So we'll see kind of how that goes. But I think Ty Simpson, then Gunnar Stockton. Then we're gonna go Bo Pribula from Missouri, Joey Aguilar, who at Tennessee, and then Jackson Arnold, Blake Shapen, and Zach Calzada. That kind of rounds out my top my quarterback power rankings. Listen, I am open to debate. I'm open to you could call me, that's what this is for. I'm gonna put my takes out there. You could call me crazy and we could talk about it. But I think tell me what I said was wrong about any of those quarterbacks. LaNorris Sellers, give me an argument of why he shouldn't be. Give me an argument for any of the other guys to be ahead of him going into next year. I'm just saying. Now maybe you could have Garrett, Arch, and LaNorris back to back. Garrett, Arch, Norris, and us. Garrett Nussmeier, Arch Manning, LaNorris Sellers, and then DJ Lagway. Maybe, but I personally think LaNorris Sellers being number one going into next season is interesting. So speaking of this, we're gonna go to. We're gonna go. No. So we're gonna look at. What the? Oh, wait. Save image. So we're going to look at this insanity real quick. So this Arch in the top 8 is crazy. What part of that is crazy? Okay, all right, whatever. I'm telling you, come on, we can stand on it. We can talk about it. We can stand on it. Let's talk about it. Oh, I need to remove. So this is, I guess. Ooh. Excuse me. This is Josh Pate's post-spring 2025 rankings. I guess it just goes to 20. I don't understand. Well, I don't understand. This is crazy to me. What has Clemson done to deserve this? Like what? Can somebody please explain to me why all of a sudden Clemson's getting all this love? We were just clowning them for never using their. They've gotten one transfer in the last 3 years. They don't do anything. They just got ran out of They just got ran out the playoff. They barely got in because of a shitty ACC. Let's not act like, or whatever conference let's not act like Clemson's all of a sudden like these big dogs. Is Clemson supposed to scare me? Is Clemson supposed to move me? I get it. Bryant Wesco, Cade Klubnik. I get it. All those guys, great. Woo, so fun. I don't give a about any of that. Okay? None of those guys. I don't. Yeah, this is crazy. This is insane. And to have Oklahoma at 10. What are we actually doing? People get paid to make takes like this. Y'all think I'm crazy. He thinks I'm crazy for having Arch Manning in the top 8, which is what? That's not even. I thought you were on LaNorris at 1. That's crazy. But Oklahoma at 10, Georgia behind. I get it. I don't under. Georgia at 10. I'm not saying Georgia might not be that good, but Georgia at 11 behind Oklahoma and yeah, behind Oklahoma. That's Illinois, Georgia Tech, okay, but that's what I really Clemson at 1 and Georgia at 11. Really, I'm gonna say it too. I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna say this too. Alabama at 4? For what? For what? For what? Like they it's not like I just don't it's not like they had I just don't understand. Like I get it. He brought in a new offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, who was his offensive coordinator. That's gonna be great. And they have this new quarterback now, I guess, and he's gonna be so much better than the quarterback that they were using than what's his name last year. He's gonna be so much better. Come on, man. Like this is getting there's not the same team, man. It's just not the same team anymore. It's just not the same Bama anymore. Okay. And to have them at 4 is diabolical to me. Like this whole like now to be fair, I'll admit, to be fair, it is difficult to rank these teams right now, but like golly, come on, dude. Like our Clemson at 1, Georgia at 11, Miami at 12, Arizona State at 13. Like I feel like here's what I think is about to happen. What I think is about to happen in college football is last year was so freaky that I'm not like I don't think this is going to happen I don't think. Well, what I mean by that is Arizona State. I don't believe they're going to be that good next year. I just don't. Like Cam Scatterboo, like you had, like I guess Sam Levitt's still there, and you got your head coach, and yeah, but I don't know. I don't think Arizona State's going to be that good. I don't think that Georgia Tech's going to be that good. I don't think that, and I think like South Carolina at 18 is South Carolina is better than Alabama right now. Like I don't understand where this confusion is coming from. Like I'm pissing them off. I know I am. Well, what time is it? Get off work. Debate me then. I'm just saying that South Carolina is better than Arizona State, Texas A&M, Illinois. South Carolina should probably be. I would probably switch straight up South Carolina with Alabama or South Carolina. Yeah, I'm gonna do my own rank. I'm gonna use these teams. I'm not gonna add teams or take teams out. I'm gonna use these teams, and maybe tomorrow when I get off my day job, I'm gonna get on and I'm gonna give my list with these teams on where I think they should be, because this is kind of diabolical to me personally. And I think if Isaac has something to say about it, maybe we'll hop on later and we can talk about it, because I've gone about an hour and I need some water. And Pete Rose has been removed from the MLB ban list. That's cool. That's cool. Cool. Good. A lot of man. Everybody else betting. Shit. Lifetime ban is crazy. Anyways, so yeah, that's really what I wanted to cap this off with. I think this is diabolical. I think that Clemson at 1 doesn't make no sense. I don't understand what they've done to deserve this. They got ran out the playoffs. They lost players. Alabama at 4 doesn't make any sense to me. They also lost players. And Isaac's going to be like, the only reason we lost is because of Jalen Milroe. He just sucks so bad. Then take him out. Maybe the team. And he said, I talked about phone, and he was like, we did. And I was like, well, that's what makes Kalen DeBoer, not Saban. He's not willing to make that move. And he's like, Saban did do it against UCF, and the team's morale just died. That's because the team sucks. Here's my thing, though, dude. How it's so obvious that you don't even want to give the conversation a thought. anybody, you think Alabama's the number one team in the country or the number one team in the SEC? That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Like, yes, okay, Texas struggled as Camp Scatterville. Oh, my bad. We were there, though. Like, I mean, this is crazy. Yes, okay, we struggled against, and we're not doing this. I'm getting out of here because I don't want to get all this. It's about to get spiked. You gonna get on. We gonna debate this the correct way. So maybe we come back on tonight because I feel like we about to get fired up in here. So I'm gonna get out of here. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of their day. It's been great. I'm been excited about doing this for a little bit. So like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys maybe later today. And Isaac will see you tonight with another show. So stick around.
I ain't with that beefing on the net.